Sunday will be 1 year to the day since President Trump nearly lost his life in a field in Butler, Pennsylvania. And it will be one of those moments that for all of us, who not just followed the news cycle, but literally just remember where we were at that time. Like my kids won't, obviously, they're little. But if you've got any kind of a memory, you are going to remember where exactly you were when you heard that Donald Trump was shot. For me, I was on the back porch getting set to put chicken on the grill when I actually got a text from a salesperson saying Trump was shot. And I flip on the television out on the back porch, and I was trying to comprehend it at first. I'm like, what is going on? Where was this? What is he doing? What just happened? And then, of course, scoot up here to the radio station for the next several hours and cover what was a historic moment. But most of you are going to know exactly where you were when you heard the news. Some of you might have been watching the rally and the speech in Pennsylvania, right? Some of you might have seen it in real time. But we are 1 year removed from a moment that would have changed the course of history in this country for a very long time, and would have also been one of the most tumultuous things in American politics to have happened in 150 years. The way this country would have changed, how different it would have looked had the shooter come within a quarter inch on the right side, had Donald Trump not tilted his head at the perfect angle looking up at a screen to his right. It's hard to comprehend how different this country would look today. And I don't just mean from a political perspective, like who would be in the White House. I mean, socially, what our interactions would be like right now. Do you think there's political divide in this country today? Could you imagine? Had that shooter not missed? 913-408-7957. I want to open it up to you here on a Friday morning and get your reaction and your thoughts on that 1 year later, because the anniversary, for lack of a better word, is coming up on Sunday. Now, the president is going to be on his daughter-in-law's TV show tomorrow night, Lara Trump. She does a Saturday night show on Fox News, and they released a clip of the president reacting to this moment 1 year later. Once again, this will air tomorrow night on Fox News with Lara Trump, and here's what the president had to say.
Well, it was unforgettable. I didn't know exactly what was going on. I got a whack. There's no question about that. And fortunately got down quickly. People were screaming, and I got down quickly, fortunately, because I think they shot 8 bullets. And one got me, and one got another one, and one got another one, and one killed Corey, the firefighter, great guy. And, we had a tremendous, massive crowd. Tens of thousands of people were there. And our sniper, within less than 5 seconds, was able to get him from a long distance with one shot. If he didn't do that, you would have had an even worse situation.
As I hear the president say that, what's interesting to me is that was about a 48-second clip. He didn't spend the entire clip talking about himself. He actually spent most of the clip talking about other people. He kind of downplayed like the, woe is me, oh man, this country would have been screwed if I wasn't alive today, and I wouldn't have won the election, and oh my goodness. He goes on to say, well, it was unforgettable. I mean, as only Trump can do. The guy literally had part of his ear shot off. He came within a quarter inch of losing his life. And what's his response 1 year later? Well, it certainly was an unforgettable experience. The most Trumpian answer, but also not the answer that his critics would have likely predicted 1 year later. It wasn't a me, all about me kind of an answer. It was, unforgettable, got down quickly, and then let's give credit to the sniper. Let's give credit to the first responders. Let's not forget about Corey, the guy who actually lost his life, who was behind the stage where President Trump was speaking. He did all of that on the back end of that clip. He almost downplayed his own situation in a weird, many would call it, un-Trumpian kind of way. And he'll never get credit for that. And I'm not saying he should. I'm not going to sit here and wax poetic about the answer. But considering how people portray the guy, that's not the answer that they would have projected out of him. If you were going to say, hey, how would Trump respond in his first public comments about the 1 year anniversary of the day he was almost killed? That would not have been the answer most people would have predicted. And I mean most of, especially the naysayers and the critics. That's not the answer that a lot of people would have predicted. And to me, that's telling. And you can't see it, obviously, on the radio, but you can kind of hear it where, especially about halfway through the clip, he almost has I don't want to say a smirk on his face, but he's talking about this in a way that doesn't come across as maybe as serious as it should based on what nearly happened and how it would have changed the country. And to me, I'm guessing, and this is just my putting on my fake psychologist hat here for a second, I almost think that for Trump, that's a defense mechanism. He doesn't want to be the guy that's letting people really deep into his emotions. That's just not who he is, right? He's got that strong man approach, and he's entitled to that, and that's really how he's always been, whether it's in business or politics. So by almost downplaying it, almost smirking about the reaction in hindsight, is a way to not let people too far in, because he doesn't want that to be perceived as part of his brand, right? That's not what he's interested in doing. And I don't blame him for feeling that way. It's the approach you would expect on that front from Donald Trump. But it is a day that would have changed the course of American history and our politics in this country for a very long time to come. I don't think that can be understated. Not just when it comes to the election last year itself. Who knows? Don't forget, Joe Biden didn't drop out until after that happened. Would Joe Biden have dropped out of the race? That was perceived to be a moment that Trump, who was already surging about 2 weeks after the debate in late June where Biden didn't know where the heck he was the whole night, then this happens, and it's like, man, Trump's got all the momentum. As sick as it was to think about, that was a huge momentum boost for Trump as well, with not just what happened, but how he reacted in that moment. That led to a massive week for that Republican National Convention. And then, give or take a week later, I think it was 6 days later, Joe Biden drops out. Kamala Harris jumps in. Does Biden even drop out of the race? Probably not at that point in time, because then you would have said, well, this guy is the incumbent. Even if he's totally comatose, at least people know him. There's a value to the incumbency that doesn't exist for someone like Kamala Harris. So let's just leave this guy here because people are going to be looking for stability in America right now. Republicans will be in chaos. Biden's going to be the guy that's just sitting there. And they might have continued on with this charade for the next 4 years. And it actually might have worked, as scary as that is. So there's so much short-term, long-term, politically, culturally, societally, that could have looked different in America today had that bullet been a quarter inch to the right of where it was.